Well, who would you take?
Personally, I would go with Mozzie because I know that he helps us now with the guard. I love the guard too. My question is, you're adding something to it where we have depth. I think the defensive lineman gives you an immediate starter and something for the future.
Here, I am cutthroat if we missed one of those two guys after having them both here in our hands.
Yeah, we're better on the line of scrimmage with either one of these guys.
We've had offensive linemen there. We've had the opportunity to pick them. We've not had a defensive lineman, interior defensive lineman that high in quite some time.
We're good. Let's keep on the phone.
What's going on, Cowboy Faithful? It's your boy DMV, back with another one. And we're not going to do a whole bunch of bells and whistles today. This is going to be for research purposes. This is going to be a deep dive into what the Cowboys draft has been in the last 5 years. Because this draft, this 2024 draft, is going to be a very, very pivotal draft for the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys are going to have to rely, as it stands right now, with looking at the free agency market. Right now, they're going to have to rely a lot on what this draft is going to bring them if they're going to have success for this upcoming year. Because it appears that the Dallas Cowboys will not enter free agency until they know exactly what it is that they're going to draft. Now, the draft is a whole different beast, right? So what I wanted to do was I wanted to tabulate over the last 5 years what the Dallas Cowboys have done in the draft, what successes they've had, what fails they've had, and, you know, what we can look forward to. And if, you know what I'm saying, our Will McClay might be on the hot seat, or, you know, if, you know, this whole draft will tell us what the Dallas Cowboys are doing, whether it's retooling, whether it's rebuilding, okay? So let's go into the last 5 years. You know, I created a criteria. I put a star next to the person's name. You guys aren't going to see it, but it's in my notebook. Put a star next to the person's name if they hit on that draft pick, meaning when I mean by hit, I mean they get substantial playing time. They're a starter. They get accolades. They moved on to another team or whatnot, you know, that they're a valuable member of whatever team that they're a part of, okay? So 2019, we had Tristan Hill. We had Connor McGovern. We had Tony Pollard. We had Michael Jackson, Joe Jackson, Donovan Wilson, Mike Weber, and Jalen Jones. So I got 4 stars in that draft. So, you know, we often look at that 2019 class as a class that failed to us, but they actually hit on 4 of the picks. So I had them hitting on McGovern, and McGovern's gone, but McGovern gave us good starter, you know what I'm saying, time when he was here. He's pretty solid, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm okay with moving on from McGovern when we did, but, you know, I had to put a star next to his name. Tony Pollard, you put a star next to his name. Michael Jackson. We did not hold on to Michael Jackson, but Michael Jackson is doing work in Seattle. He's gone. You know what I'm saying? I knew he was going to be a very good player. And then Donovan Wilson ends up being a solid starter for us, a guy that, you know, got a second contract with us. So you got to say that Donovan Wilson, with what he brings to the table, you know, whether I believe that in coverage sometimes, you know, he has lapses, you have to put Donovan Wilson on that list. 2020, this was a very good draft for us, all pro-wise. CeeDee Lamb, Trayvon Diggs. We had Neville Gallimore, who has moved on, but I put a star next to his name. Reggie Robinson didn't get his fair shake for whatever reason. Tyler Biadasz, I put a star next to his name. He has moved on. Bradley and I gone. Ben DiNucci gone. You know what I'm saying? All right, so let's move on. Micah Parsons, 2021. Micah Parsons, that's a hit. Kelvin Joseph, I put a minus next to his name. You know what I'm saying? Woo, that might have been the worst pick out of the last 5 years. Osa, that was a hit. Chauncey Golston, that was a hit. Nashawn Wright, we don't use him, so I didn't put a star next to his name. Jabril Cox, Josh Ball, Simi Fihoko, Quentin Bohanna, Izzy Mukwamu, we don't use him. Matt Farniak, we don't use him. I think that 2021 was hit or miss. We ended up getting Mike out of that draft. We ended up getting Osa and Chauncey. People look at these drafts and they say that they're good because we get 3 to 4 different players, but, you know, I mean, that we really missed on that second round pick that, you know, oh man. 2022, Tyler Smith, we hit on that one. Sam Williams, I put a question mark next to him. Jalen Tolbert, put a question mark next to him. Jake Ferguson, I put a star next to him. Matt Willetsko, I put trash next to him. Deron Bland, I put a star next to him. Damone Clark, I put a meh. John Ridgeway, I put a star next to him, but he's gone. Devin Harper, gone. And then let's go to 2023. And then we're going to really dive into like, man, this sucks. Mozzie Smith. I mean, there's question marks next to these guys because none of these guys had any impact. Luke Schoonmaker, DeMarvion Overshown got hurt. That probably was going to be our hit. Fehoko, Awesome Richards, Eric Scott, Deuce Vaughn, Jalen Brooks. All right. So, of that 5-year period, I put stars next to 14 of the draft picks' names, right? So that's close to about hitting on 3 a year, right? So what if I told you out of that 5 years, right? 7 of the 14 are gone. They're off this roster. That right there leaves a level of concern for me. Leaves a level of concern because, you know, we don't know who's going to hit out of last year's class. I know that you're supposed to give them 3 years, but on a team that has won 12 games, 3 of the last seasons or whatnot, and then, you know, we lose 6 starters this year. I believe we lost 6 starters. You know, this draft class is going to have to come in with the ground running. Now, I purposely left out undrafted free agents because a lot of times what people like to do, they like to lump in these undrafted free agents and say they were part of the draft class. No, they were on the clearance rack is what they were. You know what I'm saying? That's the only time that this front office shows any type of urgency is when they're trying to get undrafted free agents. When, you know, they're going to Ross, they're going to Marshalls. You know what I'm saying? You can get you a polo. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get it for cheap and you know what I'm saying, sat in the warehouse for a little bit. Yeah, you can get you some nice stuff. Trust me. I shop at Marshalls. I shop at, you know what I'm saying, Ross and all that type of stuff. I ain't too good for none of that stuff. But when you're running a $1 billion franchise, you know, the draft is where you got to hit. That's where you got to, if you're a team that likes to be homegrown, you like to keep a lot of your guys. 7 out of 14 of the last, of the guys that hit of the last 5 years, I don't know that is a great percentage. You know what I'm saying? That's not counting the undrafted guys. So I believe that Dallas is going to have to be better in this draft than they've ever been before, because the track record shows that we really haven't been as good as people have pegged us out to be. Homegrown for sure, because you add the undrafted free agents in there, and over the course of however long, we probably have the most snaps for undrafted free agent guys. But when you're not adding free agents, when you're not adding quality free agents, and then you're hitting on draft pick 3 a year, and then 1.5 of them is gone, you know, that probably explains why the Cowboys have had a hard time getting into the next round, you know. So let me know what you guys think, man. This was me trying to be as unbiased as possible, do some research, and, you know, you guys dive into the picks and let me know. Maybe there's somebody that I named. Maybe there's somebody in those picks that you felt was a hit and I didn't feel like was a hit. But let me know, man. I just wanted to, you know, get to y'all, get some knowledge out there before we dive into some more things into the draft. Like I said, I'm working on a video with centers right now, and I think that you guys are really going to like it. Got the bells and whistles for that one, and so it should be coming out hopefully tomorrow. If not tomorrow, it'll be coming out on Saturday. But I appreciate y'all, man. We out. Peace.